There is a mystery deeper than the stars, a riddle woven not into the fabric of space, but into the nature of the one who observes it. For centuries, science sought to explain the universe in terms of objects, forces, and predictable laws. Yet, as we pierced deeper into the quantum realm, the foundation began to shake. Reality no longer obeyed the neat logic of classical physics. Instead, it danced, probabilistic, non-local, and curiously aware of being watched. At the heart of this strange dance lies the observer effect. In quantum mechanics, particles do not exist in definite states until observed. Before the measurement, there is only a wave of potential, infinite possibilities coexisting. But when consciousness enters the equation, the wave collapses. A choice is made. Matter crystallizes. Reality, it seems, is not a fixed thing. It is responsive, participatory. Consciousness does not merely witness the world. It helps shape it. What ancient mystics whispered in meditation, modern physicists now glimpse through equations, that the external world and the internal world are not separate, that the division between observer and observed is a useful illusion. Consciousness, in this view, is not a byproduct of matter. It is the primary field. Matter is the echo. Thought is not inside the brain. The brain, perhaps, is inside thought. Before we go deeper, take a breath. If this resonates with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel and write in the comments the affirmation, "I am the field in which reality arises." Your presence helps this truth reach others walking the same path. Now imagine this, a field of pure potential. No things, no boundaries, just vibrating possibilities. This is how quantum physicists describe the zero-point field, an energetic ocean where even empty space is alive with fluctuations. From this ground, all particles emerge. From this silence, all sound arises. And in many spiritual traditions, this same field is known not as vacuum, but as consciousness itself, infinite, formless, eternal. The Vedic sages called it Brahman, the unchanging reality beyond time and form. The Taoists spoke of the Tao, the nameless origin. In Dzogchen, it is Rigpa, pure awareness. And now in labs across the world, physicists describe a quantum realm that behaves more like mind than machine. The boundary begins to dissolve. Entanglement shows us that particles, once connected, remain connected across vast distances, instantly. Communication faster than light, as if space is not truly separate, as if the universe is already one, just appearing divided. This principle echoes the ancient insight of unity, that all things are expressions of a single underlying intelligence. When we observe a particle, it is not only its position that becomes real, it is the act of observation that brings it forth. Does this mean the universe is aware of itself? Not in the way a person is, but in the way a mirror reflects. Consciousness is not something you have. It is something you are. And the world responds accordingly. In meditation, one withdraws attention from thought and sensation, and something astonishing happens. The world softens. The boundary between me and not me fades. The mind becomes still, and in that stillness a knowing arises, silent, spacious, boundless. This is not imagination. It is direct perception, and its language is not words, but presence. Neuroscience maps brainwaves. Physics maps probability waves. Both point to patterns. But who is watching the pattern? Who is aware of the waves? There is something behind the activity, a stillness that sees. A presence that does not change when thoughts change. That presence is the root of all experience. And it is not located in time. It is not located in space. It simply is. As this awareness becomes more conscious of itself, a shift occurs. The illusion of separation loosens. Identity expands. The self is no longer confined to the body or mind. Instead, it is seen as a lens, a temporary costume, through which the infinite peers into its own creation. This realization is the core of mystical awakening. And now, in the quantum age, science approaches it not as poetry, but as possibility. Quantum tunneling, superposition, non-locality. These are not just mathematical curiosities. They are reflections of a deeper truth, that what we call reality is not solid, but relational. And the relationship depends on awareness. Not just human awareness, but the universal field of consciousness that gives rise to both seer and seen. Let us go even further. Consider the double-slit experiment. When particles are not observed, they behave like waves. When observed, they act like particles. Observation collapses possibility into form. The act of witnessing determines outcome. What does this mean for our lives? If attention influences manifestation, then our thoughts, our focus, our inner state, all shape what appears as outer reality. And so the esoteric truth begins to converge with experimental data. The yogi and the physicist, once distant, now meet in silence. They both seek the same thing, to understand the nature of reality, and both discover the same paradox, that at the root of everything is nothing, but that nothing is awake, aware, alive. The ancient mantra, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that, is not a belief. It is a recognition that the observer, the act of observing, and the observed are one, that the universe is not separate from you. It is happening within you, not within your body or your mind, but within your consciousness. The same consciousness that listens now. This understanding is not merely intellectual. It is experiential. You may have glimpsed it in a quiet moment when time stopped and everything felt deeply connected. When the boundary between you and the world dissolved into a single breath. Such moments are not accidents. They are reminders, invitations. The quantum field and the awakened mind both move in silence. Both reveal the same truth, that reality is not a thing, but a process of becoming, shaped by awareness. Let us turn to another phenomenon, quantum coherence. In certain systems, particles align their states in perfect harmony, functioning as one unified wave. In meditation, something similar happens. The mind, the body, the breath, all begin to resonate. Distraction fades, fragmentation disappears. What remains is coherence, not just in the brain, but in being itself. In this state, energy flows effortlessly, insight arises spontaneously, and a strange peace beyond reason takes root. Modern research in neuroscience shows that meditative states alter the activity of the brain, especially in regions associated with self, attention, and perception of time. The default mode network quiets down. The sense of separateness softens. What emerges is not dullness, but clarity, a heightened awareness that feels both deeply still and incredibly alive. It is as if the brain is tuning into a frequency already present, but usually drowned in noise. Could it be that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but received through it, like a radio tuning into the signal of the cosmos? This idea, once ridiculed, now finds echoes among open-minded scientists and mystics alike. The mind is not inside the skull. The skull, the stars, and the sense of self all arise within the vastness of consciousness. This is not spiritual idealism. It is ontological humility. It is recognizing that our instruments, however precise, cannot measure the one who observes through them, that we do not have consciousness. We are consciousness, temporarily appearing as individuals, as bodies, as thoughts. This is why spiritual awakening and quantum insight are converging. Both dissolve the illusion of solidity. Both point to the primacy of awareness, and both challenge us to live from that awareness, not merely as knowledge, but as presence. In the Upanishads it is written, "From the unreal lead me to the real. From darkness lead me to light. From death lead me to immortality." This is the journey of consciousness. It is not linear, it is quantum. A sudden shift in perception where the separate self dissolves, and all that remains is being. Timeless, boundless, intimate. So how does one approach this awakening? Not by trying to understand it intellectually, but by turning attention inward. By becoming still enough to notice what is always already here. The silence behind the noise. The space in which thought arises. The awareness that does not come and go. In quantum terms, we might say, observe the observer. Let the field know itself. This is the sacred feedback loop at the heart of all mystical traditions, where the seer and the seen merge, where subject and object disappear into presence. And what is presence, if not the recognition that everything is already one, that the universe is not outside you but within consciousness, appearing, disappearing, and reappearing in endless forms. Just as a dream seems real until awakening, so does the world seem separate until realization. The sages did not speak of these truths as theories. They lived them. And now, as science approaches the same horizon, we are invited to bring both hemispheres of our knowing, the rational and the intuitive, into harmony. Not to reduce the mystery, but to enter it more fully. To awaken is not to escape reality, but to see it clearly, to recognize that form is emptiness, and emptiness is not void, but full of light, full of intelligence, full of presence. This is what the quantum mystic sees, not merely atoms and equations, but sacred geometry dancing in silence. And so we arrive at the merging point. Spirituality without science can drift into fantasy. Science without spirituality can become blind to meaning. But when both meet in awareness, a third thing is born: wisdom. A wisdom that sees the cosmos not as dead matter, but as living mind. Not as a machine, but as a mirror in which the universe sees itself, learns itself, loves itself, through you. This is not metaphor. It is the deepest truth we can point to. That consciousness is the ground of being. That the quantum field is not other than the awakened self. That every moment, every breath, every atom is an expression of one eternal presence, watching, creating, remembering. So sit quietly, listen deeply. The same energy that moves galaxies moves within you. The same intelligence that holds stars together is holding your thoughts now. You are not apart from the universe. You are the universe, aware of itself for a moment as a human being. And in that awareness, everything changes. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments the affirmation, "I am the field of infinite awareness." Let others feel this light. Let it ripple through the quantum field. You are not a small mind in a vast universe. You are the vast universe, reflecting itself through the miracle of mind.